So, you want to learn how to do Barrows? Well, you've come to the right place. Google. Before we begin, I just want to say that Barrows is a very personal experience. It's just you and the boys in there. So this guide will highlight the way in which I find Barrows to be the quickest and easiest, but everyone has their own unique approach, so don't be afraid to improvise. How do we get there? Well, the easiest way is with the level 83 Barrows teleport on the spellbook Arceus, which brings you directly here. At level 80 magic, you can easily build a house portal in your POH with a wizard mind bomb, which is what I did on my hardcore, which I highly recommend. This will speed things up immensely. Alternatively, you can buy Barrows teletabs from the GE if you made that lifestyle choice. If you're a bit shit and don't have 80 magic yet, there's two potential fairy ring codes, BKR and BIP. With BKR, you can run slightly south to this boat, which takes you just across the road from the hills. With the other one, you can do this long run. Also, you can use the Mauritania Hardlegs to teleport to Berg de Rot down here. But if you already have the Mauritania Hardlegs, why the fuck are you looking up a Barrows guide? Other than that, I don't know, have some agency, man, you can figure it out. Once we're here, we have 6 hills, or barrows if you will, get it? Each hill, we've got Darok, Aram, Carol, Guthan, Varric, and Torag. Darok is by far the scariest of all the brothers, with a max hit of 64 at low HP. He attacks with melee, and the lower his HP, the higher his max hit, so it's essential to pray melee against him. Next, we have Aram. He is a magic stick, with a max hit of 20. I also highly recommend praying magic against him. After that, we have Carol, who has a shooty pointy stick, and attacks with range. He can kill you quickly. Sorry, that was a different line in my script. They can all kill you, but he can kill you quickly with a max hit of 20. I highly recommend to pray against these 3 brothers, Darok melee, Aram mage, and Carol range. Then we have the daddy of RuneScape, Guthan. He's got a cute little fat bod, and he isn't really a threat. He attacks with melee and has a max hit of 24, but he can heal himself. Though, he is more of a nuisance than a danger. Look at that adorable belly. Look at the belly. I misspoke, but look at the adorable belly. Then we have Varric, a little scarier with a max hit of 23. He has the ability to hit through prayer and defense. I find it's easier just to not pray against him because he's going to hit you anyway. And finally, we have Torag. He has hammers. Fuck Torag. So, the gear you want to bring in is almost entirely up to you. You need a good magic weapon to kill 5 of the 6 brothers. At lower levels, the ibans staff works perfectly, and at higher levels, a trident works even more perfectly. Then, for Aram, you'll need a ranged or melee weapon. I recommend ranged, and I use the crystal bow myself. However, any good ranged weapon will do, such as the rune crossbow, or even the blowpipe if you hate money. If it isn't working, try something new. Obviously. God. Sometimes these scripts, I assume you guys are pretty stupid. If it's not working, do whatever you want. I'm not your mom. Finally, you'll also want to bring any melee weapon for the end, which I'll explain a little later. You'll also need a shovel and a teleport to a bank. I recommend a dual ring for the clan wars, so you can exit and enter this portal here, which resets all your stats, because one of the brothers drains agility. Don't ask me which one. It's probably Torag, because fuck Torag. Other than this, you'll need a little bit of food. They don't hit much, so it doesn't really matter what. And I recommend 2 prayer potions. I find most trips I end up using 2 sips on my low level hardcore, and on my main I end up not using any. But just in case, I always bring some prayer pots. If you forget your shovel, which I do almost every single time I do this, 2 spawn in this little hut up here. Now what you wear doesn't matter at all. You can do this dressed as a fucking chicken if you like, but the gist is you want to maximize defense without your magic bonus going below -30. Don't ask me why, I saw it in a video once. Thanks, Sylvan. A little bit of prayer bonus doesn't hurt either. On my hardcore, I do it just like this, though I did start off with rune like this. Whatever your highest possible defense gear, wear that. And on my main, I go for graceful, as 99 defense is enough to sustain Torag's fucking hammers. Fucking Torag. But you can do this in however you see fit. Some suggest using void, but there is really no best way to do this. Wear a cool hat. Wear dumb pants, man, it's your life, you do you. Honestly, you'll see people here wearing all kinds of wacky outfits, and it's kind of why I love this place. Now, getting into the actual minigame. Bosses? Getting to whatever the fuck we're doing, you'll come to the barrows and see 6 barrows. Each one of these barrows contain 1 barrow. With the Rune Light plugin, which I highly recommend for everything in this game, it'll show you which barrow is in which barrow, but if you don't, Darok is here, Aram in the middle, Carol below him, Guthan to the right, Varric in the top left, Torag in his own little shit dungeon because fuck Torag. My kill order is I start with Darok, as he's the most dangerous, and then I kill Aram and Carol, as these 3 I find essential to pray against. Then I kill Guthan, as his cute ass is sometimes annoying with his heal, so I use my leftover prayer on him. Then I fight Varric and leave shithead Torag to last. Everyone you ask will have a slightly different order, and some prefer to kill Carol before Aram as he's slightly scarier, but the main gist is you need to pray against Darok Darok, Aram, and Carol. The rest, you'll be fine. And if you get spanked by the other 3 brothers, you're probably too low of a level for this. While you're inside, every 17 seconds you will lose 10 prayer points. So yeah, make sure you watch that little number because so many times I might let my prayer drop and shit myself, so just be prepared for that. Now, each run, randomly one of the barrels will contain a crypt. Leave this till last. After you've killed the other 5 boys, go down there and you'll spawn into an area that looks like this. In the center is a chest. Every time you enter a door, an enemy will spawn, and this has a chance to be the last brother you haven't killed. The room you spawn in has 1 unlocked door and 3 locked doors. You can see which is the unlocked door by it being slightly brighter color or by right clicking. Of the 4 doors entering the chest room, the same is the case. 3 are locked and 1 is unlocked. So figure out which is unlocked by right clicking or looking and then run there. Once you reach that door, you'll need to solve a very simple puzzle. The answers are on screen now and they never change. Again, just having room light will solve these answers for you. If you get these answers wrong, the entire crypt will shuffle and you'll need to find the open door again. Make sure you kill the remaining brother before looking at your reward. Clicking on the chest once will spawn any remaining brothers, and then clicking again will lock the loot in the chest. But wait, don't just open the box yet. We need to talk about reward percentages. So the chest works by giving you a chance at receiving a piece of gear from each brother you've killed. If you've killed all 6 brothers, there is a 1 in 17 chance of receiving a piece of gear. Anyone that tells you it's a 1 in 15 is a filthy liar and a coward. Killing only a single brother doesn't increase the chance of receiving their armor, so it is highly recommended to kill all of them. Now, the runes that you get depend on the percentages in the top left corner here. Ideally, you want to be as close to 88% without going over. This is because if you go over 80%, one of the drops is potentially replaced with bolt racks, which are shit and no one wants bolt racks. But yeah, the gist is kill every brother, then get to 88% or close to, and then open the chest. An easy way to get to 86.6 is to kill 2 skeletons and a bloodworm. That's what I do, and that's what I find most people do. There are other orders that you can experiment with, but it's easy, just get 2 skeletons and a bloodworm. Kill them as they spawn at each door as well, because it's incredibly annoying trying to deal with aggro to kill the right one to not go over percentage. After you loot each chest, it's far better to bank and teleport out rather than run back to the ladder, as the crypt will start collapsing and deal a constant amount of damage. But that's basically the gist. Kill Jarek. Kill Jarek. Who the fuck's Jarek? Kill Darok, Aram, and Carol, praying melee, mage, and range respectively. Then kill Guthan, Varric, and Torag, enter the crypt, get 88%, and open the chest. Some other handy tips before we go. If you get Darok as the crypt, you can safe spot him in any of the corner rooms and in a few of the tunnels. In the tunnels, one of these rocks can be used as a safe spot, but be warned that some tunnels have the rock slightly too far away, and the brother will despawn if you try to lure him that way. Each corner room has a potential ladder spawn, which counts as a safe spot, which is definitely the funniest safe spot in the game, because he literally just stares at you. This works for any of the melee brothers, but seeing as Darok is the only one that can hurt you, I wouldn't bother with any of the other 3. To make him spawn here, just spam click the doors. Another handy tip is after Mauritania Hard Diaries, you receive 50% more runes from the chest, which is great profit and handy for those who stand alone. So if you're close to that, it might be useful to tick that box before entering Barrows. And most importantly, remember, fuck Torag, the fucking little shit with the fucking hammers. He fucking always hit 23s on me, the little shit. Oh, fuck, I really fucking hate Torag, man. Oh god, I fucking hate those goddamn hammers. He looks like a cunt as well. Fucking Torag.